basically, let me give you a quick lore recap on what's been going down. Lemino, someone who uploads very, very sparsely, let's say, right? So his last upload is from like a year ago. So he uploaded a new video, which is like an hour and 40 minutes long. I watched it. It is an incredible video, as always. Lemino never misses. By the way, I use Lemino's music in almost every single one of my videos. Actually, I think at this point it's every single video. Because another thing, Lemino makes music for free and allows anybody to use it. Another W. So Lemino is just great across the board. But the thing is, there are many channels out there who recorded their reactions to it and just put it up on YouTube immediately, right? So, like, you upload once per year, and then someone just re-uploads basically the entire thing. It's not cool, you know? And that's where big drama happened. But obviously, as with all things, I don't think it's that simple. So I want to see what this Mogul male guy has to say. I don't know who it is. I think it's someone associated with Ludwig. I'm not entirely sure, because it's interesting to me. Obviously, I am also a bit of a React Andy nowadays. I mean, obviously, my main thing is still the, still like highly edited stuff, but you know. Let's watch this.
Hello, it is once again time for me to fill you in on some huge YouTuber drama, and then for you to weigh in with your own morals and ethics on this conundrum. And it all started, like most things, on Twitter.com, X.com.
It's not Twitter anymore.
Really
Which, by the way, I keep thinking this. Surely there must be a plan behind it, right? Because this is something I've gone down another rabbit hole. Apparently, Elon Musk, like his whole company that he originally wanted to create before even PayPal, was X, right? So this has been an obsession for a long time. And I keep thinking that there must be some rationale behind this. It's not, you don't just buy one of the most, like, iconic brands out there and then rename it to X. But I can't figure it out. Anyway.
And specifically from this tweet, here's my live Mogul reaction from
there it
Mudahar. It says, "Just a shame garbage like this fills the recommended tab." And it's referring to this tweet, which says, Lemino spends months researching, scripting, and editing a video just for React streamers to re-upload the entire thing and provide zero input. And the offender at hand, XQC, who re-uploaded the entire reaction to his own YouTube channel. Yep.
And the important part here is not that he reacted to it, but that he re-uploaded it on YouTube, right? Because for me, like, another huge distinction is that if you watch it on a separate platform, it's already like kind of a lesser deal, right? Because it doesn't really cannibalize the main platform, which is like an important distinction there. But like once you put it up on YouTube, then you know, then it's kind of, we'll talk about it.
We are once again talking about reactors, React videos, and whether they're chill or not chill. And it is a little more complex than that. So let's get 100% into it.
It's more complex.
First, by talking about who Lemino is. And if you don't know, he's a long-form video creator. And he doesn't upload very frequently. In fact, it had been a full year since his last upload when he dropped the Kennedy assassination video.
Yeah, like, these videos are insane. Like, I'm sure everyone already knows of Lemino, but Lemino's uploads are insane. The quality of these videos is just, oh boy.
An hour, 38-minute long video. And that's why people were kind of upset that XQC re-uploaded it, because this clearly took a lot of time and effort, and now XQC will get paid.
And also a big thing is that it came out so recently, right? Because usually, like, if you don't know, the bulk of YouTube views comes in like the first 48 hours, and the rest of it is, unless your video gets really pushed in the algorithm, like my channel is comparatively small, right? So it sometimes gets pushed in the algorithm and it only picks up later. But for like a very established creator, most of it comes within like the first few days, basically. So if something goes wrong then it hurts a lot, you know?
Off of that work, and Lemino will lose some of the views, right?
I know what you're talking about, the Riot MMO.
And before we go any further, it's worth noting.
We'll talk about it.
I am an offender, okay? My hands are not clean. There is blood on them. I have reacted. Father, I have sinned. Ludwig reacted to a lot of TikToks in his day. But
it's not that simple.
I think I can still weigh in because I have a perspective as both a streamer and a YouTuber, and I kind of laid off the reacts. I still react occasionally, like Skibbity Toilet, or when my roommate is on a date.
The Skibbity Toilet thing, I've literally, like, if I didn't watch like Charlie's video on it, I don't think I would ever know it exists, and apparently it's like literally one of the most popular things in recent memory. It's insane. I had literally no idea it existed.
Show But usually when I react, I either get express permission from the creator or I am doing some, in my mind, transformative content, which we'll get to in a bit. But outside of that, I'm just a raw gamer. Okay, I'm a gamer who occasionally reacts. That's how I would phrase it.
A true
anyway,
gamer.
let's get back to it. Part of the reason that this discourse is
I don't know
so
about this. What's this?
intense right now is because it's coming from multiple sides. It is not just XQC
We'll talk
getting
about
lambasted
Asmon.
for the Let Me Know
Don't
video.
worry, that's what I'm saying.
Also,
it's more
Jack
complex than
Films,
that.
who is going hard on a campaign to expose how bad Sniper Wolf's content is, or at least that's his point of view.
I don't know what this is, though.
And
this is
he
my
made
first time
this
seeing
video
it.
called
Also,
Let's Talk About.
Why does Ludwig's YouTube look so odd? Why are shorts recommended up here? Is this some sort of test group? Because shorts don't show there for me.
Sniper Wolf, and if you don't know,
Like,
Sniper
look at
Wolf
this. Like, they're putting shorts right next to YouTube. That's odd.
is a huge YouTube creator whose almost exclusive content is TikTok reactions. She has 34 million subscribers. She's one of the biggest YouTubers in the world. And yeah, she reacts. A lot. It's the main thing she does. She's probably the largest react channel. Maybe Mr. Beast Reacts is bigger, but she's one of the largest in the entire world.
Wait, look, hold on. 3.5 mil, 5.3 mil, 5.77 mil. Oh my god.
Amassed over 23
Oh my god.
billion views, mostly off other people's content. But by the way, this is not a new thing. It's not a new argument.
If you've been around YouTube for long enough, you'll remember the days of when, like, you could make not a reaction video, but a response video. So you had the main video, and if you scroll down, like, there were a bunch of view farms that, like, made response videos to your main video that usually had nothing to do with the video itself. So this goes back ever since YouTube was created, right? And there have been many controversies about React content throughout the years. I remember all of them. I'm a YouTube lore master. I even thought about doing a video on it, about the many eras of
to
YouTube.
Admonish React creators. You know, there's Jinxie, who got basically laughed off the platform for bad reactions, and even 12 years ago, where Jack Films, same exact guy, made fun of Ray William Johnson for basically being a React creator.
You're saying I need to come up with an original thought by myself without the internet clips. Yep.
Insane special effects back then.
Okay,
and somebody
maybe I'm not a lore master because I had literally no idea that existed.
who has long argued against the existence of React creators as a whole and the like evil or the bad that they bring to the platform is Dark Viper AU, who has made a many-part series about this, of which I'm a part of. Yo, what up? And I'm going to try to restate his position because I can't go through all 13 pages. You know what I mean? Just a meme. But the general idea is that React content is bad because there are a finite amount of views on the platform. It's true. There's not an infinite amount. There are a finite amount. And if you were to remove all of the React creators and all the React videos, that finite amount would remain the same, but they would go to original content. There would be no need for a market.
Well, this is hingent on the thought that we are only talking about reactions within YouTube itself, right? Because, like, if you're reacting to, let's say, like, I put up a One Piece reaction today, right? The One Piece reaction videos don't cannibalize absolutely anything, in my opinion, because none of the videos are replacements for the episode, right? You go there to watch someone else and how they are reacting to the episode. You're not watching the episode because, like, you literally can't, right? So this is talking about purely within YouTube reactions, I assume.
Market for React videos, and then original content would all,
because I think the fundamental value of reaction videos is just watching something with someone and getting their thoughts, you know,
get boosted. And although there are some cases that you can point out where people have benefited greatly from React videos, smaller creators who get I
was about to say this. We were going to get to this. Like, I think channels like Asmongold, for example, you have no idea how many channels I've discovered because of Asmongold. I feel like React videos, in many ways, are sort of networking, right? If you can think about it that way. So, like, there is this one hub that is the React channel, and it, like, sprawls out to all these different connections, right? So let's say you're in the gaming sphere. Asmongold is one of these people. He reacts to a whole bunch of gaming stuff, and I would have never known about these channels, right? Again, the ironic word of influencer. In that sense, I guess it's very much a influencer, you know? And the argument there would be that, well, I watched Asmongold instead of the creator, right? But the thing is, Asmongold doesn't watch every single video from a certain creator. So technically, it does, I think, to some extent cannibalize the first video, right? But I think it cannibalizes to the extent that if you were interested in this creator that you've just discovered, you would like go and watch their other stuff as well, which Asmongold hasn't watched, right? I keep using Asmongold as an example. I don't mean to rule like sort of single him out, but I'm just using it as an example. But like, if the creator doesn't interest you, then I don't think anything has been lost, because you were never going to watch their stuff anyway, if that makes sense, you know? Multiple times I clicked on Asmon's video just to switch the original creator, which is totally fine. And I like that, because it's like, again, it's sort of discovering ideas you might not have discovered yourself. You know, it's the beauty of interacting with people online.
Large amount of exposure.
So the TLDR, basically, I think in many cases, it is for the benefit of smaller creators, especially.
Exposure is a natural. And
in
the
niche
market
communities,
would correct
especially.
itself if no React videos were in existence, because it would go to the people who are naturally pushed by the algorithm, as opposed to some giant YouTuber or giant streamer exposing light.
And also, another thing. This is something I discuss. I don't know if this is just a me thing. I don't think anyone can tell you for sure. But like, you need a core audience for you to be pushed in the algorithm. And I think sometimes a larger creator reacting to you, because like Asmongold's subreddit, for example, is like filled with people saying you should watch this video. It's from a small creator talking about a very, very, very niche subject, right? And then when he watches something, they usually get an influx of viewers, and then they start getting pushed in the algorithm, right? So it's sort of a net positive all around.
By their blessed reactions. I think that's the general idea. And that trickle down doesn't work. Trickle down reactonomics doesn't actually make sense. And to an extent, I agree with him. But I don't know if I fully buy the theory that if you removed all React creators in all React videos, that you would have the same amount of views and impressions. I would argue it would go down, right? The same way I would argue if we removed all gaming videos off YouTube, like if we had some moral argument against gaming because it makes people more violent, we should remove all gaming videos, that YouTube's total impressions and views would remain the same. I think they would go down. Maybe they would go up again over time, but I think if you were to remove all reacts, it's not like it 100% cannibalizes original content. I think it also...
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, there are many times where I've watched things twice because someone reacted to it and I'm just like, I want to get another perspective. So I think if you just removed all reaction content, I think like across the board, views would go down. I mean, it's hard to say, right? Because like then you're getting into the argument of what is a competitor for a certain thing, right? If you look at very, very large companies like Netflix considers gaming a competitor, even though it has nothing to do with shows, just because we're talking about people's time. With entertainment, it's hard to say. But yeah, I do agree with the sense that I think if you remove the entirety of the reactions, I think everything does go down, you know? Same as with any other sort of large group of videos.
Adds people to the platform. But outside of that, not all React videos are made the same. There's two arguments kind of forming here. And the first one is arguably more important. What is a React video? What is it? What is a chill one? What is a not chill one?
Okay, I'll give my thoughts. A chill one is when the art of the react. The main video is 15 minutes. The reaction video is an hour long, right? That is a perfect reaction. When the main video is 17 minutes long, like Ludwig's video right here, and the reaction is 17 minutes, that's not chill. That's probably you're just watching it and not doing anything, right? Unless you're speaking over the entire time, and I guess then it's sort of, you know, I just think there needs to be something added to the video, right? Some sort of conversation, some sort of talking point. Or like a completely new perspective or something like that.
Huge difference, right? We can tell just by looking at a video like Real Lawyer reacts to The Little Mermaid. This is fine. This is, I'll let it play for a bit.
Something really bothered me.
I love
about
these
this
videos.
movie. Yes, it was the legal contract. I was an extremely litigious fighter.
Don't we watch gaming content for a gamer's reaction as well? He kind of invalidates another genre. I mean, I think it depends, right? Again, like, if you're watching someone play a game and you're not concerned about spoilers or anything, I mean, were you ever going to play the game? You know, I guess is the question there. Are you really cannibalizing something you were never going to experience either way? You know, I guess it's sort of the same argument I would use with technically cannibalizing a single video versus the entire channel, you know? Also, I love these videos. When you have someone who is like highly specialized in a certain field and talks about something very, very niche, oh, I love these videos. These are the type of videos where I eat my lunch to. I'm like, I will now watch a 40-minute analysis of a single song in a game, and I will love it.
So today we're gonna make that little
This is
boy
prime
very
YouTube
happy. We're
material.
gonna talk about whether Ariel's contract with Ursula the Sea Witch, where Ariel trades her voice for legs in an effort to win the kiss of true love from a human that she just met earlier that day and who doesn't know that she exists because, you know,
Disney, yeah.
is a legally enforceable contract. And
Now, this is interesting, right? This is a lawyer with some pedigree reacting to The Little Mermaid through the lens of the law. Right?
Yeah, I
Adding
mean,
some value
this is
and some
completely
commentary.
transformative. This is completely transformative. This is not even a reaction video, right? The word react in this context, in my opinion, is SEO and nothing more. All right? Like, for me, this isn't even a reaction video. I would say this is just a video essay disguised as a react, because reacts tend to attract more viewers.
That a layman would not otherwise know. And this falls under fair use. It is a react video. He does directly pull clips that he is reacting to, but it's a little different than somebody on twitch.tv.
A video essay is also technically a react, you know?
Who is sleeping, who is playing videos, right? That we can see the difference here. And I'm not here to narc. I'm just here to show that not all reactions.
Wait, hold on. What even is that?
Clips that he is reacting to, but it's a little different than somebody on twitch.tv who is sleeping, who is playing videos, right? That we can see the difference here. And I'm not here to narc. I'm just here to show that not all reactions are made the same. And because of that, they're not.
Yeah, but the streamer was
same
asleep
in the court of law. Generally, there's something called fair use,
videos.
Which, let me be clear here, nobody understands. Like, everyone has a vague.
Fair use is not an actual legal defense. It is only an argument. You need to prove it, right? People who throw out fair use as if it's some absolute statements, it's not true, unfortunately.
Understanding, but nobody has the same understanding. And I went to university and I did a copyright law class.
I'm getting a phone call. Yeah, I was about to say this, right? With the sleeping thing, there are YouTubers who play their own VODs while sleeping on stream. I mean, for example, like Connor, right? CDogVA. Like, he played Trash Taste while he was sleeping because he also did a subathon. And I mean, that is perfectly fine because it's like your own content, right? But if you just go to sleep and put on random YouTube, that is kind of weird. But again, at least it's on a separate platform and it doesn't necessarily cannibalize views on the same platform. Even though, I mean, like, realistically, I think everyone who uses Twitch also uses YouTube. So, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say.
I still don't really get it. I don't really get it. And to be honest, I feel like it also would differ depending on the judge reporting on the case. But generally, fair use constitutes a few rules. It is fair use if the purpose and character of the use, including whether such use is of commercial nature or is nonprofit or educational, which doesn't really apply here. So it's not really fair use for that reason, because if you re-upload a video on YouTube, it's usually for commercial use to make some money on it. It's not really educational, like, although I guess maybe Legal Eagle's an example. Again, I don't know. Second, the nature of the copyright work. Third, the amount and substantiality of the portion used in relation to the copyrighted work as a whole, aka like the Legal Eagle pulling clips from it as opposed to watching.
Well, yeah, basically any video essay where like your voice is the majority should fall under fair use, right? Because like you use the copyrighted material to sort of, what's even the word, to justify what you're saying, I guess, right? So you're sort of, you need to use it in order to justify the sort of the whole work, right? But it's not as clear cut.
Watching the entire thing in a
It's
stream.
complicated.
And then finally, the effect of the use upon the potential market for or value.
This is the replacement argument, right? So are you trying to replace the original work? This was a huge deal with, I believe it was in Japan, where people were making, basically, they were making speedrun movies, right? So instead of watching a 2-hour movie, they didn't make a review, but they tried to summarize the movie as quickly as they could. And this was like a huge deal with copyright. I think it was in Japan. You can look this up. It was like speedy movies or fast movies or something like that. And this was a huge deal because technically speaking, you are aiming to sort of replace the copyrighted material. But even there, are you really replacing it if the person didn't care about watching the original in the first place? You know, even there, fair use is sort of a dubious topic because yes, it is aiming to eliminate the need to see the movie, but are you really going to watch a sped up thing? You know, And I don't mean sped up literally. I mean like sped up in the sense that they try to like truncate it as much as possible to make it basically a very, very fast experience.
Of the copyrighted work, which I think is like
Faster
how
frame rate?
you are using that copywritten work. And then there's another word that everybody likes to throw around, which is
Transformative.
transformative. Did you transform the original content? And there's arguments that, hey, you transform it if you are in the corner.
I'll say
and
it right now.
pausing-
I think basically the problem with all of this is not just the fact that like no one understands it. I think it's just outdated. I think a lot of these laws just do not work in the age of the internet. Because I mean, look at this. In 1994, we are talking about specific precedents that are set, right? I mean,
the video and
like the most recent, I think, big like fair use thing that was with H3, right? The whole critique thing.
and some jokes. But like, what's the line? Like, how many times do you have to pause? How many jokes do you have to make? How much of the video are you allowed to include?
Yeah, I think
And this
Tom
has
Scott
gone
did a
to
video
court
about this as
before.
well.
You probably remember the H3H3 lawsuit that they won
Yes.
against Matt
This was
Haas,
a
where
big deal.
they were sued because they reacted to a video, but the court was like, you know what? This is fair use. But very specifically, the judge said this ruling does not mean that all reaction videos constitute fair use. And it's very clear that people have crossed the line, obviously, of what fair use is. And I think the biggest offender of this are streamers, because it's just the nature of streaming. Streaming rewards people who stream longer and more consistently.
Yes.
And you can do games and things like that, but generally the best thing to stream are things that you can do long time, repetitively, that a viewer who tunes in...
Well, I mean, Ludwig is about to say this, right? If you're streaming a game, you are naturally inhibiting your audience to the single game, and you're naturally limiting it even further to people who care about this particular segment of the game, and you are potentially limiting it even more if the game has like a high sort of gatekeepy thing, right? I don't know how else to call it, right? So if the game requires a lot of knowledge beforehand, like your audience is very, very, very limited, right? So let's say, I don't know, like Mythic raiding in World of Warcraft, right? Unless it's like a race, not a lot of people watch random guilds doing Mythic raids just because you need to know a lot. YouTube content, however, most of it is made by design for a very, very broad audience. So, makes sense. Makes sense.
maybe halfway through a section or a segment of a stream
And played
can
by a
instantly
specific person,
understand.
yes.
It's why it's a lot harder to stream an entire Final Fantasy game, because if you tune in 30 hours through, you're like, what?
Which, yeah, if you tune in 30 hours and you're just like, what is going on exactly? And if you want to see a YouTube example of this, go to my Walking Dead series and look at the views for each video. The longer it goes on, the more it drops off. Things that are long for, and by the way, I'm experimenting this with myself as well. The fastest way to get around this on YouTube is by disguising your videos just to make people think that they're not in order, even though they are. I'm doing this with Attack on Titan. Deliberately, I'm not making the videos seem as they are in order, even though they clearly are. And it works.
On, and it's a lot easier to stream a battle
It's just
royale.
limiting barriers to entry is literally what you're trying to do.
Or watching videos on YouTube. You watch a 10-minute video, great. You tune in halfway through, you kind of get it, and you'll get to watch the next video. And streamers have taken this to the extreme where they just outright watch TV shows. And this is something I've admired.
When this happened, I almost lost my mind. Like, why would you do this? Thank you. But yeah, this is insane. Any streamer who decides to watch stuff on stream is, like, I'm gonna be honest, that's just irresponsible. Because they are putting so many other creators at risk by doing this. This is a very, very bad idea.
Honestly.
And, like, let me get this clear. They're not putting just streamers and content creators in risk. They're putting viewers in risk because all of this will transfer onto the viewer. So, like, if like a big Twitch streamer messes up and there happens to be a huge court ruling that outlaws certain types of content, you know who suffers? The viewers, aka me. I watch stuff more than I make stuff.
Past, because, well, I think it's just going to get all of streaming in a whole boatload of trouble, because the copyright law and the lawyers of commercial television are a little stricter than Let Me Know or Summoning Salt. You know, that they are willing to really take down the whole industry if they have to.
Yeah, and that's the problem.
And one final
right?
thing.
When they're going in for the kill. Like, Let Me Know, is he going to do something? Probably not, because, like, his own reputation is on the line, right? And if you start flinging out even completely justified copyright strikes, even then it's sort of like, you know, it gets dicey. Like, you don't want to do that. But when production companies go, oh, that's when things get gnarly.
And final note on the legality of it all. What market does it occupy? Now, this was a lawsuit with Jeff Koons and another artist. This was the original picture of some artists, and Jeff Koons used it in this this art piece with feet or whatever. And part of the ruling and why they were like, hey, you know what, this is fair use, Jeff Koons, you're allowed to use this art, was because Blanche's photograph could not have captured the market occupied by Koons' work. And I think
also this is the platform
issue
argument
that I see is when streamers take a reaction that they do on Twitch or
and re-upload it on YouTube,
on Kick or wherever, and then they re-upload it to YouTube
because it occupies the same market.
It dominates the same exact market. This is the same market. You can see Lemino's video on YouTube.
Oh, he's just going down the list. Okay.
Or you can see XQC's reaction to Lemino on YouTube. It is cannibalizing the same amount of views, which is a little different than if you take it and you add a reaction to TikTok, or you take a TikTok and you add that reaction to YouTube. There's little layers of intricacy there. But the question at hand is, what are YouTubers meant to do? Because this problem has been going on for 12 years. And we can talk about it. We can make XQC the boogeyman, or whoever the next boogeyman is that reacted a little too shittily and then made...
Yeah, that's also a good point. Like, a lot of the big companies, like, it's sort of a double-edged sword, right? They want to go to court to set a precedent, but they also don't want to go to court in case they lose and also set a precedent, right? And that's the important thing with all these law things. People seem to forget that it is all about setting a precedent. Like, a single case can decide thousands of cases later on, you know? And that's the most important thing with all of these things. A single event can change an entire platform, which is almost what happened with H3. Because if that precedent had been set, oh boy,
too much money off
it
of
would
that,
not have been good.
But the problem will always persist, right? Like I'm at a position where I am large enough that I can now consider morals and ethics. And I can think to myself, well, you know what? Maybe I don't want to be an asshole and I don't want to take this creator's videos. So generally when I react, it's people who allow me to react to the videos, like a Daily Dose or a Jubilee or a Summoning Salt or a Jet Lag. But I don't really react to people who aren't chill with that. I try not to, at the very least, and I do it very minimally. But I'm only allowed to do that because of the position I'm in and because of the amount of money I made. I promise you, when I had like 100 viewers and I was grinding because my dream was to be a full-time Twitch streamer, I did not even consider once the morals and ethics of reacting to a video. I thought to myself, I want to make it at all costs, and this is what people do. It's just how it goes. And so it doesn't make sense to me to expect and put the onus on individual creators to try to make the change, which
yeah, I mean, this is something like I am very, very defeatist about these things, you know? I mean, I've been a WoW player for literally my entire life, right? The reason why people act this way is because the platform allows them to. The reason why people act in any way is because they can. And when you can shape the rules around that, that's when people change their behavior, right? But if the fast track is kind of dubious, then it's a positive feedback loop, right? And people standing above that is a rarity, right? Like Ludwig is saying, he is big enough that he can think about these things, but a lot of people literally aren't. And when smaller creators start doing this, and then middle-sized creators are like, oh, well, look at them, they're growing so fast, I want to do that as well. Then they start doing what small creators are doing, and then the medium-sized creators are also now growing, and then some larger creators are also like, oh, wait, look at this big trend. Let me also jump on that. And I mean, it just feeds up and down all the time, you know? So it's hard to say, because, like, don't get me wrong, I don't want this whole thing to be just banned outright, right? I am a React content enjoyer. Good Reacts, though. Ones that actually add value and add to the conversation. Not just, like, pointless Reacts. But the reason why people act this way is very, very simple. Because they can. And it will never go away. Simple as that, really.
Just result in smaller creators or maybe larger creators who have less morals and ethics and don't give a shit.
Exactly.
To continue and take the mast of reacting in bad faith.
Exactly.
I think the issue needs...
And, like, they will do that, and then it will just trickle up. Because that's what happens with trends.
To be solved at the root, systemically, and specifically by YouTube. YouTube needs to do a big change. because right now there is a problem on youtube.com. Love the damn website.
All right, let's see. Let's see what he has to say, because every solution I can think of does more problem. Like, it introduces more problems than it actually solves. Because if you just give everyone the ability to just blast everyone off the platform, I think it could be a bit dicey. You know, I think if there was a easier way of somehow contacting people, and you know, like getting permission and stuff like that, that could be a good way. But like, then again, it sort of puts all the brunt. I don't know. We'll see what Ludwig has to say.
I don't think they are doing enough to stop React content. In the past, they've literally supported React content. Specifically, they've tweeted out things like, how does Sniper Wolf find all her ideas?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because you know who makes more money? The big streamer or the smaller creator? Or potentially both. So why would YouTube do anything if they have a profit incentive to keep it this way? Why would YouTube do anything if they can double dip on every single bit of content on their platform? Why wouldn't they?
Well, she takes most of the videos. It's not very hard.
Let's see what Ludwig has to say.
But I think YouTube needs to give creators more tools. This right here is a hub that shows me everyone who has taken my content and re-uploaded it. So, for example, abroad in Japan's epic chess boxing match versus C.
By the way, that boxing match is epic.
VA has been uploaded by that
great.
Clipper guy and got 168,000 views, and it is 100% of my content that is in their video. I can see all of this on a dashboard. It is a helpful tool by YouTube.
It doesn't work always, by the way, because I know a few people have also watched my stuff and it doesn't show up here. I just found it by accident. I think it works sometimes because there are people who have re-uploaded my content, and then I have like contacted YouTube and been like, hey, hold up. This guy's literally just taken the entire thing. But this is not entirely accurate.
But what are my options?
Unfortunately.
Well, I can archive this, which just means, hey, I'll get over it and no longer see it in here anymore. But that doesn't solve anything. That just makes me stop looking at it. I can email them and be like...
Which does nothing, by the way. Contacting the channel, like most people who will do this are acting in bad faith. If you contact them, nothing will change. If someone is doing it in good faith, they're probably not going to show up here.
Please, can you stop taking all my content? Or I can take a much harsher approach and I can request a video removal, which would take down their video.
The problem with this is that I think it gives the other side all your personal information, which is also not great.
And give them a copyright strike. A strike which, if they get 3 of, would take down their channel as a whole, which is a pretty big step to make. And trust me, I know firsthand because I've gotten strikes in the past, specifically from CGP Grey. I watched a couple of his videos on stream, specifically on Twitch years ago, like 2021, and I uploaded them to a VOD channel. Not even personally, I just uploaded all my stuff to VOD channel because I want an archive of what I do. And I woke up 2 years later to 2 strikes from videos that were uploaded a year apart. I think one in 2021, one in 2022. And CGP Grey, I think, saw that much later and said, yeah, fuck him, which is fully within his right. I'm not mad at him for doing this. I sent him an email. I apologize. Shit, like, I was a Patreon member before Patreon was Patreon. It was called Subbable.
What? I did not know this. But like, with this, there is sort of a, oh my god, what? 2015. Subbable. I did not know this. But like, between creators, I think there was sort of an agreement, right? That you want to tackle these things in private because strikes are really, really, really scary. Like, strikes, you don't want strikes. I got 2 from Toei. I lost a lot of sleep.
To CGP Grey in 2015. But there should be another tool. Specifically, there should be a tool for creators to claim the monetization of a video.
I've said this forever. The fact that right now, when your video is claimed, the claimee can turn off monetization across the board, because like the money is not held in. Like, my solution to all of this is simple. You have a bucket of money, right? If there is a dispute, that bucket is taken away from the creator and put in the middle between these two sides of a dispute. And then when the dispute is solved, YouTube says, well, we now have this bucket of money and we will decide who gets this bucket of money. You know, simple as that. Potentially, they can even start splitting the bucket of money. There could be even some sort of thing like that, but they don't do that because my videos that have been claimed by like Toei, like I put up my whatchamacallit. It's actually not Toei. I'm blaming Toei even though it's not. I think it was Netflix. I put up like half an hour video where we watched the trailer for like 3 minutes, right? Like literally the trailer is on screen for 3 minutes. The entire video is claimed. The entire thing. And they turned off monetization across the board. So it's like gone. No one will be seeing any of that. And I think that situation is just messed up. Like, I don't care because it's the second channel. I don't really care about the second channel, like whatever. But it's still messed up. Like, that shouldn't be a thing, you know?
Right now.
And like, this should 100% be a thing with creators.
Well, kind of a lie. It only exists for certain companies and MCNs. Music companies can do it. MCNs can do it. They can claim the monetization of a video, but creators cannot. And you guys probably know just from, you know, secondhand hearing.
Like, yeah, you're saying one mistake in YouTube is condoning piracy. That's probably why they don't do anything. Well, they don't do anything because they've never, like, again, they're not the ones suffering from this, right? Simple as that. Like, they benefit from all this. It doesn't really matter to them because the net effect is still them making money.
From other creators, being in an MCN sucks. They have to reroute all the money that YouTube sends through that MCN, and oftentimes they can end up siphoning a bit off the top, like which happened to Ethan Klein when his MCN took $600,000 without really telling him. Now, they eventually paid it back, but that's not something I want to do. But for whatever reason, because I'm not a part of an MCN, I can't do simple things like geo-block my content if perhaps what I'm doing is totally free use, but maybe not considered free use in Japan. Or
what an oddly specific example you mentioned, Ludwig. Oh wait, this is not Ludwig. This is Mogul Male Guy. What an oddly specific example to mention. Geo-blocking things in Japan? Wouldn't that be great to have? I still can't do it, by the way.
Or if I want to claim because somebody used my content and I'm cool with it being up, but I want to make some money off of what I've done. Similarly, that option should be available for somebody like Let Me Know. They should just have the tools in one click to instantly make money off of XQC's video. Because then it wouldn't be so stressful.
I don't think instantly. I think there needs to be some sort of process in between, which is why YouTube wouldn't do it. That's the problem. I think if it's instantly, then we have a whole different problem on our hands, right? Like, what is a false flag that is like not really the same content and something is messed up, and then you have creators funneling money from other creators, and a lot of people will do it in like bad faith. I think there definitely needs to be a dispute in between, and I don't think it should also be binary. I think there can be a split. Like, you can literally split the revenue between videos you're doing. It would be hard to implement, but it is a solution that I think could work.
If somebody was uploading React content, just means that you would have more money from different pools. And maybe people would still be not okay with it, in which case you could take it down, but let's be real. If a creator tries to take down an XQC or whoever it is, they're going to get in a world of hate because of it, and it's just totally not worth it.
It's just negatives across the board. Exactly. And that's why people don't do it. And I don't think anyone will ever do anything about it. Because, like, striking someone, oh boy, that is probably the worst thing you can do as a creator. Like, again, even if it is 1,000,000% justified, it is the most intense option you could do. That's why people don't do it.
And then the archive option's not really an option, so let's add a real option. Let's allow creators to actually claim monetized content. Maybe you have to have some sort of like minimum amount of subscribers so that people don't do too many false copyright claims. I don't know. Or maybe you have to more harshly punish.
Well, again, like if you need to have these minimums, then we have again the problem of, well, what happens to a small creator, right? What if, let's say, somebody watches the world-renowned YouTuber Koroto's Mystery Shack, and they suddenly have 50 million views on their reaction video, even though my entire channel combined doesn't have that many, right? But I don't fit the criteria. What happens then? You know, am I just left out in the dust? I don't think that's also a solution. And I think the partner program requirements are too low, right? I think whatever type of line you draw there, there'll be problems, which is why I think there just needs to be a dispute in between somehow, which is, how would they do that? That's the problem.
False copyright claims? I don't know. But I think we need to add a new step, YouTube, to help out creators and give them more tools and options. That's it. All right, I've talked for too long. Goodbye. See you later. Have a good one. Goodbye. Peace.
All right. That was an interesting video. I agree with most of this. It's a very interesting perspective. I do think the overall situation is quite complex, and it's not just reactions bad, you know? Like, reactions from 2013, those are bad. Reactions nowadays, many of them actually really good. Many reactions nowadays, top-tier YouTube content. I haven't actually seen XQC watch anything, but I know that people are memeing about him, like, eating on stream and stuff like that while watching it, which is like, I don't know. Oh my god, I memed about this, but I literally watched the video for 41 minutes. Okay. That was a good video. I'll link it in chat. Hold on.